It's time for another Dice Tower review with Zee Garcia.
Hey folks, today I'm taking a look at Mangrovia, which is a mid-weight Eurogame from Zoch in which you are going to be building huts, taking specific actions to allow you to build those huts and try to come out on top with your placement and get the most victory points. Let me show you how the game works, then I'll tell you what I think of this one. Here we go. Here's what the game looks like set up at the beginning. As you can see, not a whole lot on this board yet, but each player has a score marker up here on the track. You have a marker here to mark your advancement basically on this track, which I'll get to in a bit. We put the wooden boat up here at the top of this track. Each player is given some cards, 2 of these land type cards randomly, and then 2 cards here which come from a specific set. In this case, player 3, for example, would get this. And so you start with 4 of those cards. Here's another example. Player 4 would get these 2, and 2 random land cards. And then each player also gets a certain number of huts, which look like this. Little wooden huts. These are going to eventually populate the board. And then each player also is given one of these bowls, sometimes 2, depending on the number of players, but for 4 players, 1 of these bowls. And then you are ready to begin the game. The objective of the game, of course, is to get the most victory points, which you are going to be getting by putting your huts all over this land here, by taking specific actions which are going to allow you, your action selection is over here, are going to allow you to grab more cards, build huts, grab the ability to do different things, but ultimately get points. And also there's some area majority sort of scoring going on, which I'll go over in a bit. Alright, and then there should also be some of these cards face up. So just imagine that, you know, there's some of these face up here, like so, and fewer of these face up. Say 3 of these face up, which I'm not going to bother with, because I don't think you can quite tell, but maybe if I do that, you can see it. Haha. Something like that. Alright, and then you're ready to begin. Starting from the start player, who is the player who is given this amulet at the beginning. You are going to pick the actions you want to do. Now let me explain how this works very quickly. We are each going to, in turn order, put our bowl here somewhere. And then this boat is going to move. And once it lands on spot number 1 here, if anybody put their bowl in that spot, then they take the action associated with 1, then 2, then 3, 4, 5. And then it comes around, and you take actions coming this way also. So really each bowl you put out there has 2 actions on it. The one on this side and the one on that side, okay? So there you go. And the actions are pretty straightforward. Let's move these so I can just basically tell you what they are. A lot of them are drawing more cards. And if the card symbol here is white, that means you draw it face up. If it's a grayed out symbol, you draw it face down. So 2 cards face up, 1 face down. 1 face up, 1 face up, 1 face down, 2 face up or 2 face down, 1 face up, 2 face down, and then over here there's some options as well. Other places allow you to grab tokens that allow you to build. There's 2 possible things you might need to build. I'll tell you what they are. And then over here you can build a hut or a double hut, build 2 separate huts, and over here you become the start player. And you can also move these birds of paradise. So, how do we build, which is the ultimate objective of the game here? Well, to build, the first thing that needs to happen is one of the 2 birds of paradise here has to be on that land type. Right now they are in these 2 up here. And let's move this down just a little bit so you can see that. But the start player is allowed to move either of these or both or neither when they win and become the new start player. So for example, let's say right now it is this lush jungle and the water spaces, but I could change it, say I want to leave it on water, but I want to change this to the sandy spaces. And those are the only places where we can build on the following turn if I make that switch, okay? Or I can move both, whatever. So it starts like that. So those are the places where we can build. To build, you need to have huts still, of course. And then you are going to have to pay the land type in which you want to build. Say, this I can build with this in here, any of these, and there, or there, in all of the lush spaces. And then you need to pay whatever the number is in that space, whether it is in these vases or in this number here, which comes from the cards, okay, the offerings. So let's take a look here. Let's say it's my turn, and I've won one of these actions, which allows me to build a hut. I'm going to play this land type, and I'm going to play both of these, which total 9, and I'm going to take my hut and build it on this 9. Below that are 3 little suns. That means 3 victory points, which I score immediately on the score track. That's how you build huts. Each place can only have 1, so no one else can build there. And each place does something slightly differently. This place is 3 victory points, but at the end of the game, you are going to score, besides all of those points that are pre-printed on the board there, you are also going to score some bonuses. But before I get ahead of myself, let me also tell you the other spaces that don't have these orange numbers, but instead have those like pots or vases. The way those are built is by getting them, which some spaces here give you, from here, basically. And this track, again, keeps track of how advanced you are at acquiring those. We all start on 0, which means when you would get one, you get a value 1 from that stack that starts right there on the board with just a few 1s. But you can advance yourself on this track by building in these red circles here. So if instead of doing that, I would have done that here, let's say, again, the Bird of Paradise has to allow me to build there. So technically, this would have to be true for me to build there. But let's say I built there, well then I take my marker and I move it up to 1 here. And from now on, instead of getting a single 1 from that stack, I draw it from the bag. So I go in here, I get 1, and it could be anywhere from a 2 to a 6. Let's see what I got. I got a 5, so pretty good. And so, with this 5, I could now, let's go back to our original setup here, grab, let's assume I have one of these. I could play one of these, and I could play a 5er, and now I can build in, where was it? I just saw it too. In there we go. And if I build in there, then I get 4 victory points, and again, some possible scoring at the end. So let's get to that, the scoring at the end. At the end of the game, you are going to score everything that's already been scored, which is pre-printed on there. But then we're going to take a look at these rows here, these columns here. Come back. And you are going to get a first and second place bonus for being there. So as you can see over here in these statues, if a first player, meaning whoever has the most huts in this entire line, you're going to get 12 bonus points. Second place, 6. Then 10 and 5 and so on. And then same thing, but looking at these lines here. Besides that, there are some spaces here around a stone circle and some spaces here around a statue, and those score slightly differently. You are going to, for these, you are going to, at the end of the game, take a look at how many people have built in there. I'm just going to grab some random huts here and put them out. And your score is going to be based on the total number of huts times how many of them are yours. And so 5 times 2 being 10 victory points. Red gets 10 victory points. That's the way that scores. And then down here when you build, you first take a little tile from the top and you build there. And you score the points on this little tile, which go up and up from 2 all the way to a 9. And also a majority around the statue. 12 for whoever built the most, 6 for whoever built the second most. And this continues, doing these actions. Once that's done, you finish out the round. Everybody takes back their little offering plates here. and you give whoever the new start player is, you give them this. You again put out the little plates, you take your little ship around the island there, taking cards, grabbing these tokens, building huts, sometimes building double huts, which counts basically as 2 huts, but you build them in the same spot at the same time, paying everything twice. So you need 2 land types like that, and you need whatever the amount needed is twice. You build 2, you score the space twice, and it counts as 2 huts if there's a bonus for the row or the column, okay? So that's what a double hut means. Continue doing this until someone has run out of these huts, which again is determined by the number of players. And once the game is over, you count up all your bonuses and you see the player with the most victory points. That player, of course, is the winner of the game. Mangrovia is exactly the type of Euro game that I enjoy the most. It's got that family weight, sort of middleweight Euro game. It just fires on all cylinders for me with the game length, the amount of tactics the game provides, how pretty the game is, the wooden bits included fit the game and the theme just right. So it really works for me. I like the scoring mechanisms in it. Everything just works. It's got a nice amount of angst also when you are waiting for somebody else to take their turn and you're really hoping they don't take what you want. Lots of that going on. At multiple stages too, when you're picking where to put your offering. If someone takes the spot you wanted, I really wanted to go there because I needed to build 2 huts this round. And then after that, the cards that are taken face up because they're not replaced. And so if someone takes the land card you wanted or whatever, there that goes. And then when someone built a hut, which you were hoping to build in that one spot and they went before you and built. So lots of that going on. Now, I don't want you to think the game is actively mean or anything. It's not. I don't think it is. But it does engage you and it keeps you sort of watching everybody else and hoping that they don't do that thing you want to do, I really enjoyed it. It was one I was hoping would be good, was looking forward to it. It seemed like the kind of thing I would like, and it did not disappoint. This is a really solid game. If you enjoy that midway type of Euro, the kind of game that tends to win awards, especially German awards, if you know what I'm talking about, then this is that kind of game. And I really like it. I gotta recommend it. Mangrovia, thumbs up from me. Check this one out, folks.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.